Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a tutorial, review, and swatches of the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. It did come out very recently and it is out now. I believe it's available on Anastasia's website as well as Sephora and Ulta. I did personally buy it off the Anastasia Beverly Hills website and had it shipped. It was at my house within 5 days of ordering, which is also really good. I'm going to show you guys how I got this eye look, which is definitely serving me some Pixie Fairy vibes right now, which I really love. And I will do some swatches of the palette for you guys, as well as just a review of the formula and how this one ranks up with the other Anastasia palettes. I also wanted to note for you guys, I am officially having a filming schedule and an uploading schedule, and I'm really excited about it because it's going to basically start off with a weekly series on my channel. I'm going to have a Makeup Monday where I review or talk about makeup products. That's mostly going to be a review or tutorial sort of video on Mondays. I'm going to have my Tuesday talks, which are going to be more talkative videos, something that you guys can get to know me, because it's super important for me, for you guys to know who I am as a person, because I want you to support someone who you truly believe in supporting, and I believe that you should support me because I think I'm a good person. And on Wednesdays I will be having my Wants, Thoughts, and I Think Nots Wednesdays, which is a video where I talk about new makeup releases and whether or not I'm going to buy them and why or why not. And Fridays will be Before You Buy Day Fridays, and that is a new series I'm starting, which is a sort of educational video, which is going to be super in-depth on a specific brand every week. And that will just be covering things like scandals they've been involved in, their audience, their pricing, and their type of products, and basically giving you a better idea of a brand that you may be shopping from, or maybe one you haven't even heard of that might be catered towards you. But anyways guys, I've been rambling, so let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, so for this tutorial I'm trying out something different. I have one eye completed already, and this is kind of going to be, you know, the finished look that we're looking for. And I'm going to show you guys on one eye how to achieve that look. And of course, like I said in my intro, I am using the Norvina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their newest palette. It's the same format as all of their typical palettes, like the Modern Renaissance and Subculture. It comes with 14 shades, 2 rows of 7 shades. And for this one particularly, they market it as 1 row of shimmers and 1 row of mattes. I realize I look insane talking with one eye of makeup done, but anyways, I did want to note that there are actually a couple shades in the matte row that have a glitter running throughout it, which does sort of blend away when you put it on the eye, but also kind of doesn't. But it does add a nice iridescence to the look, which I will just note, because if you want a matte, you're not going to be getting that with those shades, but I'll talk about that later in the video. Anyways, I did want to do a more dramatic eye look for you guys today for this palette, because I feel like I constantly do very natural looks for you guys, and this palette is very colorful with a lot of capability of being natural, but I figured I'd show you guys because I really like the purple tones on my green eyes. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I will say I accidentally did already go over my eye with the color base when I started off the eye look, because I was accidentally jumping into doing both my eyes at the same time. So that's already placed, but the first shade I'm going into after that is the shade Soul, which is the one directly next to it. It is this kind of deep periwinkle shade. This is one of the shades that does have a little bit of glitter running through it. And that's really only visible in like direct lighting. So if you are not much of a stickler like that, it won't matter. And I am taking this directly into my crease, which most people are going to think I'm insane for doing, is taking a color directly into my crease. But this is sort of going to actually work as my transition shade here. And if you see, as I apply it lightly, it's not super pigmented. I'm using a very fluffy brush, and I'm just sort of depositing the color so I kind of know where it's going to go and how the kind of look is going to look. This eye look definitely does make me feel like a fairy, so, you know. If you're looking for a fairy day, this is the look to do. And I am just sort of starting a little wing action, but nothing crazy. After placing that, I'm actually going to go into the shade Incense, which is this medium toned warm brown. And I'm also just dusting that on the edge of the look, so that gives it a little bit more of a natural vibe as it blends up into a brown color. And that way it kind of doesn't have such a stark contrast between the blue and my skin tone. I'm going to refer to that shade more as a blue because compared to all the other shades, it's kind of more of a blue than a purple. And now to sort of deepen things up, I'm taking the shade Soul and I'm mixing that with the shade Volatile, which is this sort of more muted grayish purple, and I'm kind of taking that into the crease area as well as into like the outer V. I'm not letting that Volatile shade get very high on the eye. This is a denser, smaller brush, and I'm just taking the shade Volatile mostly and mixing a little bit of Soul now and placing that in the outer corner. Now, this palette does have a lot of kickback and it does have a lot of fallout, and that is something that you need to be aware of if you're interested in using this palette. It is more difficult to work with, and the powderiness of the formula does a little bit remind me of the Subculture mattes more than like Modern Renaissance or Soft Glam. It's not anything bad and hard to work with, but when especially you're working with bluer or purple toned eyeshadows, it's something you really don't want falling on your under eyes or your upper cheeks because it can make you look really tired and like dead. So just be aware of that. Maybe do your face makeup afterwards if that's something that you do like to do to prevent fallout. And I also am sorry if my lighting fluctuates throughout the video because sometimes my ring light will suddenly pitch darker, and I think that's because of the air conditioning coming on and off, and it's just like a surge in energy. I'm not 100% sure, but I do apologize. And currently those shades are kind of just being placed right now, and I'm taking the shade Soul and placing that on my under eye, just sort of to the inner half. I'm not taking it in much farther, but I am sort of attaching it. And I'm then going to take the shade Incense, which is that warm brown, and blend it out with a smaller fluffy brush. Now this is a bigger brush than the one I applied the Periwinkle shade with, but it is a smaller brush than like a fluffy crease blender. And what I like doing throughout this look is just taking a very fluffy brush with a very small amount of that Incense shade, which again is that warm medium tone brown, and just going over the entire perimeter, even like out here on the under of your eye, just to make sure that everywhere it blends into your skin tone. And then just with my finger, I am picking up the shade Celestial, which is just this pretty bright purple shade, and I'm placing this on my lid. I'm using my finger to apply that first for more intensity, and then using a brush with it as well, just to make sure that I get the nice blend in application area that I want. This is not one of the more metallic shades in the palette. This shade does not have the same formula as the other more metallic ones, as I feel like you can see just by looking at the palette. It just doesn't have as much oomph to it. But it is one of the ones that is more eye-catching and more jewel toned, which is why I'm using it today, because I really like it. I'm again using my finger here to apply the shade Dreamer just to my inner corner. It's the brightest sort of champagne toned highlight shade in the palette. And I'm also taking a little bit of the shade Love here, which is that pink shade, which again has a little bit of glitter running through it, and I'm also just dusting that over the perimeter of the look. Now this look is definitely heavily purple. When you're using a very dramatic color in your eyes, it's very important to have a very nice gradient from that color to another color to another color to another color that's closer to your skin tone, because that way you're not just trying to force a really dark purple to blend to your skin tone, because it's really difficult to do. When you utilize other shades in a palette to allow that gradient to happen, it makes the blend a lot easier to perform. And what you can also do if you're having a hard time getting this blend is take that shade Base again and just run that again all over the perimeter of the look. And the more you take a clean brush or a brush with a blending shade to the perimeter of the look, the easier blend is going to come out. And I kind of will just do this until I have the desired look. So my setting spray is still drying, but that is definitely it for the eye look. I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara off screen, and I will be right back with some swatches and to finish up the review. Alright guys, welcome back. So I went ahead and put on mascara, which was a trial. My whole makeup today has been a trial, and I slapped on some just clear lip gloss because that's kind of what I've been feeling lately, and I like it with this look and it makes it a lot more wearable. I really feel like once you put mascara on, this look is actually not that terrible, and I really love it with my green eyes because I definitely feel like it accentuates them. Let me just zoom you guys in real quick so you can get a little bit of appreciation for the look. Excuse my skin, it is just crazy lately, but here is the look. I think it's very pretty, and I will be getting some pictures of this look and posting it on my Instagram, and you guys can check that out. All my socials are at Stephanieo2000, so just check them out because I'm on everything all the time. I really love the pop of that kind of warmer purple on the lid, and I just love it. I think it looks really nice and is very complimenting, and yeah. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into some swatches. So these are swatches of the shades Dreamer, Summer, Wild Child, Rose Gold, Celestial, Dazzling, and Drama, with Drama being the dark purple and Dreamer being the light champagne. There definitely is some pigmenting discrepancies there. I feel like some shades are not as pigmented or as metallic as others. And these are shades Base, Soul, Incense, Love, Volatile, Eccentric, and Passion. And that is with Passion being the sort of maroon color and Base being the light creamy shade. It's actually really interesting because Incense and Eccentric actually swatch very similarly to each other, and I really like those two shades. Alright, so those were the swatches, and I really do like the pigmentation of most of these shades. Some of the metallics definitely do fall a little short, and I actually feel like the one that I used today, Celestial, is one of those. It definitely just doesn't have as much of an impact as those other very metallic shades. I would have liked if they kept the formula a little bit more consistent so we knew what we were getting out of each shade rather than fluctuating the intensity in each one. The three shades that are matte but have a little bit of glitter running through them are Base, Soul, and Love, which are the sort of light cream, light periwinkle or dark periwinkle, and the pink. And those shades you can only really see the glitter when you have a light directly on them or if you're looking really close. Especially in the crease, they actually add a nice iridescence to this look, and I feel like it kind of ties the look together, having sort of just kind of makes me look like a fairy, honestly. I really love it, and I think that it's a very beautiful look. I did mention how the shades definitely do have some kickback and a ton of fallout. That's something to be aware of if you are a beginner with makeup. That can cause your makeup look to look very dark and cause your face makeup to just kind of be ruined if you don't whisk it off right away. The brush that I've been using to whisk any fallout away, this is just a Morphe 310 and it is a fan brush. Some people use these for highlighting, but I personally use them just to get any fallout away because I do not use them for highlighting. I think if you're a beginner in makeup, that you should definitely try applying your eyeshadow before your face makeup, which is something I've never done, which is why I don't, but I typically don't mind having a little fallout because I am pretty good on making sure that doesn't touch my skin, or if it does, I'm good about whisking it away. Another really good tool, especially if you have a problem with fallout or if you're a makeup artist, this is from e.l.f. and this is the Mascara and Shadow Shield, and essentially you just kind of apply it under your eye like this or under a client's eye as you blend, and it does allow this to catch the fallout rather than your cheek. It's also really nice if you have a problem applying lower lash mascara without it getting on your cheek. You can use that as well. I love lower lash mascara, so it's very important to me. My overall review of this palette is that it is very unique and it isn't something that the beauty community has seen a lot of recently. I would say it's comparable to the Lila palette that came out from Natasha Denona, as well as the other one that came out from Huda Beauty recently, which I'm not sure the name of, probably the Desert Dusk. So these kind of violet, pinky, purpley shades have been coming out a lot more, but I do love the Anastasia formula in terms of blendability and just knowing how to work with it. I may not love a formula of an eyeshadow as one of my top favorites, but when I'm used to it and have a ton of those palettes in my collection, I'm just okay with that formula at that point because I know what to expect. And with Anastasia, I know what to expect. I wouldn't say that they're the best formula by any means. I still do rank that with Lorac and ColourPop because the fallout and the pigmentation is just on par. But with this palette for $42, I believe it is a beautiful palette. I believe if you're looking for those purpley tones, that this is definitely a great palette for you, and definitely a great for a makeup kit as well if you're looking for that. But anyways guys, I feel like that definitely does do it all for my review, my tutorial, and the swatches of the Norvina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. If you guys have any more questions about the look or about the palette, please let me know in the comments below. Yeah, anyways guys, if you like me or you like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.